just come along.
Remember when American Idol was a cultural phenomenon? When winning actually meant becoming a superstar? The auditions were exciting. The judges were brutally honest.
I don't want to be rude, but you could be the worst singer in New York.
The finalists went on to dominate the music industry. This was the era of Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, and Jennifer Hudson.
I have to just take this moment in. I cannot believe this.
Winning mattered. The stakes felt real. Millions of people tuned in every week, eager to watch undiscovered talents take their shot at stardom. Viewers argued over their favorite contestants, bought their singles, and followed their careers long after the competition ended. The show wasn't just entertainment, it was a movement, a gateway to musical superstardom.
Are you letting go of me now?
Fast forward to today, and no one remembers who won last season. What was once the ultimate singing competition has become a generic reality show, centered around marketing gimmicks, forced drama, and sob stories. The magic is gone, replaced by the manufactured spectacle of reality TV.
What do you think I'm going to say to you?
No.
Correct. Goodbye.
How did we get here? Well, let's take a deep dive into the downfall of American Idol. In 2002, American Idol launched as the American version of Pop Idol. The concept? Simple. Raw talent got a shot at superstardom. The show was all about pure vocal ability, backed by a panel of judges who weren't afraid to tell the harsh truth.
If I were you, I'd phone up the War Department, volunteer your services, because you've just invented a new form of torture.
Simon Cowell was the villain we needed.
No. Really? It's a no for me, dog. I don't think it was really.
Randy Jackson brought the musical expertise. Paula Abdul balanced them out with her compassion, and it worked. The ratings were astronomical. Season finales pulled in over 30 million viewers. This wasn't just a talent show, it was early 2000s pop culture at its finest.
Would you believe me? Would you agree? It's almost that feeling.
The impact was immediate. Kelly Clarkson, the first winner, went on to become a Grammy-winning artist.
He's probably up behind her with a music showing her how to shoot a combo.
Carrie Underwood dominated country music. Jennifer Hudson, who didn't even win, proved that Idol could launch careers beyond the competition itself. Record deals, stadium tours, and chart-topping hits followed. Winning American Idol meant something. Even runners-up like Clay Aiken, Adam Lambert, and Chris Daughtry found lasting success in the industry. For nearly a decade, American Idol set the gold standard for talent competitions. The anticipation for each new season was palpable, with thousands of hopefuls lining up for a chance to audition. Contestants weren't just singers, they were dreamers fighting for an opportunity to change their lives. The audience was invested, the stakes were high, and every performance felt like it could make or break a career. It was a high-stakes, high-reward system. Lose and you fade into obscurity. Win and you had a golden ticket to stardom, provided you had the talent to back it up.
It says here you work as a wedding singer.
I was.
How many ended in divorce?
But then the cracks started to show. At first the changes were subtle, almost imperceptible, but as the seasons went on, it became clear. American Idol was losing its magic. The elements that once made it a juggernaut of entertainment were starting to unravel.
I just want to say, the show goes forward, it will be different, but I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support, the fun.
One of the most significant blows came in 2010 when Simon Cowell left the show. And let's be real, without Simon, it felt like the strict teacher you hated but respected had just quit.
Don't take this personally, but please. No, I mean it. You're one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, awful.
It's bizarre.
Best singer in America.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I can honestly say you are the worst singer in America.
His brutally honest critiques were a crucial part of the show's credibility. Without him, the judging panel softened and the criticism became generic, predictable, and ultimately meaningless. The once unfiltered feedback that shaped contestants into real artists was now replaced with empty praise and overused platitudes. Losing Simon Cowell was like taking the spice out of a gourmet meal. Everything became bland. Suddenly, contestants were getting standing ovations for performances that would have been torn apart in earlier seasons. The The audience wasn't fooled, and the lack of real critique made the show feel more like a participation trophy ceremony than a serious competition. Then, the judging panel itself became a revolving door. In the early seasons, the chemistry between Simon, Randy, and Paulette was natural and engaging. But as they were replaced with a rotating cast of celebrities, the focus shifted. One season, it was Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey fighting each other more than critiquing contestants. The next, it was Katy Perry making contestants visibly uncomfortable with awkward antics. The show was no longer about discovering talent. It was about keeping viewers entertained through judge drama and manufactured controversies. The show, once known for its brutal honesty, was now a playground for celebrity ego clashes. Viewers who tuned in for music were instead treated to bickering judges and over-the-top theatrics. It was no longer about who could sing. It was about who could generate the most headlines. And then came the sob stories. In the golden years of Idol, talent spoke for itself. If you could sing, you had a shot. But somewhere along the way, the show became more about who had the most tragic backstory. Contestants were no longer just performing. They were selling a narrative. And suddenly, it was less about vocal ability and more about emotional manipulation. Producers realized audiences loved an underdog, so they leaned into it, hard. Soon, every contestant had a heartbreaking story to tell, making the competition feel less like a talent show and more like a reality TV soap opera. It was no longer about hitting the right notes. It was about hitting the audience in the feels. The formula became predictable. The quiet contestant with a tragic past would get a standing ovation. The judges would shed a few tears, and social media would buzz with sympathy. The problem? Audiences started seeing through the act. As these elements took over, something crucial was lost: authenticity. American Idol was no longer the pure talent showcase it had once been. The audience started to see through the some gimmicks, and the once loyal fan base began to tune out. The magic was slipping away, and the numbers told the truth. Viewership was in freefall. But as bad as things had gotten, this was just the beginning. Desperation was about to take over, and it would only make things worse. As audiences continued to tune out, the showrunners scrambled to keep the spark alive. But instead of fixing what was broken, they made things even worse. The fake drama took over. Once upon a time, auditions felt authentic. The nervous contestants, the raw talent, the genuine reactions, it all felt real. But soon, producers started scripting everything. The random street auditions, completely staged. That emotional breakdown from a contestant, manufactured for TV. The moment audiences realized this, the magic was gone. The ridiculous golden ticket surprises felt more like scenes from a badly scripted soap opera. Suddenly, audition montages were less about skill and more about who could produce the biggest emotional breakdown on cue. The genuine excitement of discovery was replaced by forced theatrics designed for shareable moments on social media. Then there were the judges who thought they were the stars. The whole Nicki Minaj versus Mariah Carey feud, it got more headlines than the actual contestants. When Katy Perry kissed an unwilling contestant on the lips, people started questioning the whole vibe of the show. The contestants, the ones who were supposed to be the focus, became secondary to the on-screen antics of the celebrity panel. The format also became painfully predictable. The token joke contestant made it through a round or two for comedic relief. The shocking elimination moment was pre-engineered for Twitter reactions. The contestant with the tragic backstory was guaranteed a deep run, regardless of their actual talent. With every manufactured moment, the heart of the competition faded. And without a real competition, what was even the point of winning? The biggest issue. The winners no longer mattered. Can you name a single winner from the past 10 years? Exactly. The last real breakout star? Maybe Philip Phillips in 2012. Since then, the show has produced a long line of, well, people who disappear after the finale. In its early seasons, winning meant a guaranteed successful career. Now, the winners struggle to stay relevant. The music industry has changed, and winning a TV show no longer translates to long-term success. Record labels aren't investing in these winners the way they used to, and the result is a series of forgettable champions. Even worse, many of these winners are abandoned almost immediately. The show's producers once had a vested interest in ensuring their champions became household names. Now, winning American Idol is akin to getting a participation trophy. Nice in theory, but ultimately meaningless. It's like watching an athlete win a gold medal, only to be told they now have to find their own way home. No support, no investment, just a quick handshake and a good luck out there. So what's left? A show with no real impact on the music industry. Everything is predictable. The auditions will feature a tragic story, the judges will fake a disagreement, and the finale will have someone singing a generic power ballad. There's no real excitement, no feeling that we're watching the rise of a future icon. Audiences have caught on, and the numbers show it. Ratings have plummeted. At its peak, the show pulled in over 30 million viewers. Now, they struggle to get 5 million. It's like watching a relic from a bygone era struggle to remain relevant in an age where talent discovery happens on TikTok and YouTube. And worst of all, it's a joke online. People don't take it seriously anymore. The only time it goes viral is when a cringe-worthy audition circulates on TikTok. The internet isn't talking about the talent, it's making fun of the show itself. Memes flood Twitter whenever a judge makes an over-the-top reaction to a mediocre performance. TikTok is filled with clips of contestants who clearly shouldn't have made it past auditions, yet did because they had a good sob story. The audience is no longer emotionally invested. They're laughing at it like it's a parody of itself. There was a time when people debated who would win, who had the best voice, who deserved the title. Now, the show barely sparks discussion outside of niche fan communities. It's lost its cultural significance. Another problem? The Voice and America's Got Talent came along and stole whatever Thunder Idol had left. These shows, while not perfect, offered something fresh, unique formats, exciting twists, and a more modern approach to music discovery. Meanwhile, American Idol kept clinging to the same tired formula, hoping nostalgia would be enough to keep it afloat. And here's the kicker. The Voice doesn't even produce stars, yet it still manages to be more entertaining. Why? Because it leans into what it is, a flashy spectacle that doesn't take itself too seriously. American Idol, on the other hand, still acts like it's launching the next Whitney Houston.
I see American Idol and I see you, but I see you winning American Idol if you want to.
Despite all evidence to the contrary, at this point, American Idol feels like an aging rock band that refuses to retire, still playing their old hits to smaller and smaller crowds, pretending nothing has changed. So, is there any hope? Maybe, but it would require a complete overhaul. First, the show needs to ditch the gimmicks. No more scripted drama, no more forced sob stories, no more viral bait auditions. Just raw, unfiltered talent. Second, they need real judges, not pop stars who are only there to promote their latest single. They need credible industry professionals who can actually offer valuable criticism and guidance. Third, and perhaps most importantly, they need to invest in their winners again. Give them real contracts, real mentorship, and actual industry backing. If winning American Idol doesn't mean anything, then why should anyone care? But let's be real, that's never going to happen. TV is about drama and ad revenue, not about discovering real stars. The industry has changed and Idol failed to evolve with it. It's clinging to the past, refusing to admit that its golden era is long gone. And as long as that's the case, it will never be anything more than a sad, outdated relic of early 2000s television. Maybe it's time we accept the truth. American Idol isn't good anymore, and it never will be again. It's the equivalent of a once great restaurant that refuses to update its menu, wondering why people stopped coming. At some point, the world moves on, and American Idol got left behind. And if that's not a tragic ending, I don't know what is.